Okay, first news topic of the week. This week, basically, Sony's PlayStation VR 2 adapter for PC launched. And lots of people are now enjoying PlayStation VR 2, which is a fantastic headset on PC. And Half-Life Alyx is obviously the first port of call there. The game we kind of wish happened on PlayStation 5, but never did. I'm going to first of all talk about my impressions on this because I did actually try it out last night. Try being the operative word. Um, And yeah, a special bonus thing for Alan here from the DF Discord, who basically, since the PlayStation VR 2's launch, has been asking me if I've opened the box and taken it out and had a go on it. And the answer has been no until last night, because I wanted to check it out on PC. And, well, what can I say? First of all, I don't have the adapter, but it turns out you don't actually need the adapter if you have certain configurations of PC, and it comes down to the GPU. So if you go back to like RTX 2000, the Turing line of GPUs, they had USB-C virtual link ports on the back. And that port also appears on Radeon RX 6000 and 7000 GPUs. Now, weirdly, my PC errored out using a 2080 Ti with the PSVR 2. Couldn't even launch the PSVR 2 app, but I slotted in a 7900 XTX, and lo and behold, everything started to work. And, setup proceeded. I could pair the Bluetooth controllers. I got vision from the headset. Everything was happening. Loaded up Half-Life Alyx, and then suddenly my controller stopped working. And it turns out that this is an issue that's affected a lot of people. And I'm not going to say it's buried away on the Sony support page, but it does say that you need specific Bluetooth adapters. So I was speaking to Sean Hollister from The Verge. I didn't need to speak to Ian Higton from Eurogamer because he posted a 13-minute video, which is basically unbridled rage at not being able to get PSVR 2 working on PC. So it's not quite the launch we were hoping for, but it does seem that there are people out there that are happy. And what I will say is that what I did get running of Half-Life Alyx looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. You guys obviously haven't had any opportunity to try this, but I'm curious about your reactions to what you've seen happening out there. Alex, let's go with you first.
Well, one thing I would say is that I would really like to see Sony get their first launch of something in a good state for once, because I'm thinking back at like the original Horizon port or like The Last of Us Part 1.
Okay.
And I just think they for some reason they don't stick the landing of their like first launch of something usually quite well. And I don't think that helps their opinion in the PC sphere at all, where people have kind of ambivalent opinions towards the technical quality of their launches as a result now of these kind of things. And I don't think this helps at all. And it feels like something that they could have gotten to work quite well, especially the Bluetooth issue, which feels like an area where they shouldn't have had an issue almost. But maybe there's something I don't know about there.
The concept of Bluetooth is it's a standard, right? Yeah. But I'm guessing that this hardware was designed specifically for the PlayStation 5, and there probably wasn't even a plan to support PC at the beginning. They've kind of pivoted, so to speak, which might explain this. Mm-hmm. It's all a bit odd. Oliver?
Yeah, I think some of the hurdles that you're encountering, especially with Bluetooth, are a little bit bizarre. But yeah, this does feel like kind of a half-baked solution to a problem, which is that I'm sure there are a lot of PSVR 2 users out there who are interested in trying the device out on PC, given the relative paucity of games on PSVR 2 at the moment. Mm-hmm. In particular, titles like Half-Life Alyx or Boneworks, things like this that are very interesting on PC. It's cool that I think, Virtual Link exists, but obviously there's been a ton of enthusiasm on PC at various points for VR that's dissipated since. And like people are not shipping USB Type-C ports on GPUs anymore, really. So I think it's just an unfortunate reality that this is like not in the best shape to begin with. I hope it's cleaned up, but this Virtual Link implementation is quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's just kind of like a feature that never really gained traction and I guess wasn't really needed because NVIDIA discontinued it with the Ampere line that debuted in 2020, 4 years ago. Somehow AMD persisted with it and it's kind of, well, it's saving you like $60 here, which is quite interesting. I should say that it has nothing to do, not using the adapter doesn't have any impact at all on these Bluetooth issues because Ian's Rage video clearly shows that he's using the adapter and doesn't have a virtual link GPU. So it is entirely separate there. It is just quite bizarre though. It's a bit frustrating, but I guess what can I say? You dig into the page, it does tell you, hey, if you want to get Bluetooth working 100%, here's the validated dongles that we suggest you buy. So, we want to have John look at this because obviously he's a big VR fan. He uses Quest 3 with PC gaming. And I'm really interested to see what he thinks about the PSVR 2 on PC. All I can really say is that, man, those OLED displays, blacks are black. It's incredible. It's really, really good from what I saw of Half-Life Alyx, which, let's be clear here, it's like you start the game, you move about for a bit, and then you don't move about because you can't anymore. And you can restore movement by basically turning off the controllers, which takes quite a long time. You have to hold down the PlayStation buttons, and then you basically turn them on again, and then you get maybe like a few seconds more of connectivity. No. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do a rage video about it, but it's certainly annoying. But, I think it'd be even more annoying if it turns out that the validated adapters are doing the same thing. But I am going to buy one because I am sort of kind of curious now to actually get this thing working. We're so close here. And you actually, the small taste you get of Half-Life Alyx is just tremendous, that opening scene. I managed to twiddle the knob on the radio. In that first scene before the controller stopped working. But yeah, it's not ideal. And I guess the thing is, I mean, when you're dealing with PC, the idea is that with PC, the number one foundation of PC is compatibility, right? Things should just work. It's what kind of frustrated me about the Surface laptop with the ARM chip. When I first got it, the concept of the PC is you load it up, it's a PC, it does whatever you want, it works, it everything runs. And when it doesn't, that's kind of like striking at the heart of what the PC experience is for me. But what can I say? I mean, what I did see looked really, really good. I really want to give it a fair shake. But I'm also really interested in John's analysis here because I'm also interested in the Quest 3, which obviously stands apart as a standalone headset. First thing I did say to him this morning, because he's ordered the adapter, he's waiting for it to arrive. First order of business this morning was to say, hey, John, you're going to need one of those Bluetooth adapters most likely. So make sure you're getting an order for one. On a general level, Oliver, what do you think about this whole move from Sony to take PSVR 2 into the PC space? I mean, is it a new lease of life for the device, or is it basically a kind of end-of-life strategy for it because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere on console?
I think as an individual move, it's certainly welcome. I mean, obviously you have a real problem with PSVR 2 software in the sense that it's not really arriving. Sony's internal PSVR 2 development is apparently very scant. I saw a report a few weeks ago that suggested they might have 1 or 2 titles still in development, but obviously we haven't seen too much. We've seen 3 games from them, I think, like Firewall Ultra, and then Horizon and GT7, and then obviously you have a couple of Resident Evil conversions from Capcom, but outside of that, it's basically been quite bare on the ground. My concern with this is that they are probably abandoning PSVR 2 as a going concern into the later half of the PlayStation 5's life cycle, and that we might end up with a console that really doesn't have a viable VR companion. Unlike, I mean, PSVR 1 had its ups and downs, but like you had pretty tremendous titles like Astrobot launching into that system's life cycle. You had titles like Doom 3 VR even launching in, like, I think 2021, like pretty late. Right. So there was still a lot of interesting software for that platform. You were getting most of the big VR heavy hitters. And here, I'm not seeing quite as much of that. Like when you look at a title like Riven, for instance, that's not on PSVR 2, but it is on Oculus Quest. So clearly it's not a matter of hardware speed. Obviously the PlayStation 5 is very capable of running Unreal Engine quite capably, but it's not there. And why isn't it there? Probably because the audience isn't there. I strongly suspect. So that's a big problem going forward. And yeah, I guess I'll probably buy one of these adapters just because I want to try it out, but it's not too exciting to me, the prospect of PSVR 2 being kind of abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, of course, is that the PC doesn't get a lot of the key features, eye tracking, foveated rendering. I'm sure that's probably a software thing, right, Alex?
Yeah, it should be possible. I mean, it's just not there.
HDR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is kind of like the, with the HDR thing, it's interesting that that's not there because that's almost like the larger selling point of the device on console over other devices, where HDR is not so common in VR. So I think that's one of the larger shames, as well as, any of the other stuff that is kind of missing from the package at the moment.
Yep, so I'm going to regroup. I'm going to get this adapter. I'm going to have another go on it. But John's adapter is on the way, the proper PSVR 2 adapter. He's been informed about the Bluetooth issue. So hopefully we can bypass this and get you some good coverage about that, because I do expect, we've already seen like one round of discounting on PSVR 2. Possibly there'll be more in the future, and it could well be a perfectly decent, viable alternative to the MetaQuest, especially if you've got a PS5 as well, right? It's probably the primary use case for it after all.